Welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Richmond. We are a spiritual community and a center of liberal religion in Richmond with roots stretching back to 1830. My name is Alex Gecker and I serve on our board of directors. If you are a visitor here, our congregation welcomes you and we are glad you are here with us. As a community, we are guided not by a creed, but by a covenant to uphold shared principles marked by love, respect, and justice. We welcome you to live these principles with us as you continue your own spiritual journey. We welcome you with all of your diverse identities as a whole, multifaceted, and beloved person. If you are new to Unitarian Universalism, we invite you to check out our website, join our Facebook group, and reach out by email to membership@richmonduu.org. And for everyone here, whether new or not, welcome to this Sunday service made sacred by all of us being together, worshiping and sharing our time with each other.
Good morning. Today we celebrate Flower Communion. It is an annual ritual that commemorates beauty, human uniqueness, diversity, and community. Flower Communion is also a celebration of gifts that we bring to our church community. In pre-COVID times, we would bring flowers to the service, put them in a vase at the altar, and go home with a different flower. This year, my friends, we are not able to do the ritual in person, but whether we are gathered in person or virtually, the bonds of our church community are still celebrated today in our flower communion. Our commitment to each other, our respect for one another's uniqueness and beauty are present. Our principles, values, and mission remain intact. We come together in body and spirit for the transformation of society and the witness of the beloved community. So now let us enter into this sacred time. Come, let us worship together.
Children of the earth and sky, we are nurtured, sustained, given warmth and light from above and below. Supported by Earth's strong, firm crust, we build our homes, till the fields, plant our gardens and orchards.
When we turn from self and seek to be aware, we will find holy light in human faces, in blossom, bird song, and sky. Then Earth is truly our home, and we are one with all Earth's creatures, parents of Earth's children yet to be.
Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the word. Sweet the rain's new fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, sprung in completeness where God's feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light, Eden saw play. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day.
Today's reading comes from the book Spilling the Light, Meditations on Hope and Resilience by the Reverend Teresa Soto. It's called Taraxacum. Even though they are edible, someone decided that dandelions are weeds, stragglers to destroy, to uproot. But dandelions never got the memo, never thought to care. Busy instead with dropping roots, flinging seeds, unfurling shoots, and persistent in digging in that taproot to depths of 2 to 3 average adults, end to end. The tiny yellow flower survives. You are no less resilient, reaching both down to the strength that holds you and up into the light, out with your beauty. And you know, having sunk your effort into the cool, damp earth, that while dandelions can be clipped and fought, uninvested in anyone's opinion, they throw their sparkling futures onto the wind. Tomorrow tucked into seeds and grow all the way back, strong and bowing at the very same time.
Will you join me now in a time of prayer? God of many mysteries beyond our naming, Spirit of life, love, and compassion, we welcome the presence of the holy in this place as we are together today for a time of prayer. Guide us now as we are linked heart to heart in the stillness and the calmness of this moment. We come before you this morning to give thanks. We give thanks for caring friends and compassionate neighbors. We give thanks for the communion of those who seek to serve others. Each of us carry our private griefs and burdens. Sometimes we can share these, and for the open hearts which respond, we are grateful. Sometimes the world bears heavy upon us, especially in these troubled times that we live. We struggle alone, search the depth and long for healing, for renewed hope, for strength, which give that grace and peace. May we be strengthened in the efforts to be of service, and may we always be mindful of our lives filled with privilege, success, and joy that are excluded to many. May our prayer be that we always see clearly and keep before us the commitment of care. And may we try to be inclusive and open, not exclusive and narrow. On this day and every day, we give thanks, but let us also be dissatisfied with this world as it is, for a new world is waiting to be realized. May our spirits and bodies be nourished and nurtured, and we give thanks and the praise of all that sustains, heals, and holds, all that is holy. Amen. Blessed be Ashe.
I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose, I know this rose, I know this rose, I know my fear, I know my soul, I know this soul, I know this soul, I know this wings, I know this rose, I know this rose, I know this fears, I know my fear, I know my soul, I know this wings, I know this wings, I know this wings, I know this rose will open.
Virginia Interfaith Power and Light is our May Share the Plate recipient. Virginia Interfaith Power and Light is a local affiliate of a larger Interfaith Power and Light network. It supports, empowers, and organizes religious communities like ours to come together and to mobilize a religious response to climate change. Virginia Interfaith Power and Light has engaged with over 200 faith communities in Virginia, providing practical tools not only to learn about the realities of climate change, but to advocate, to act, and to speak out for climate justice. We need organizations like Virginia Interfaith Power and Light in order to achieve the sustainable living that our earth needs, that we need. An offering will now be taken and gratefully received.
Let me share a story with you this morning about a water bearer who carried two large pots hung on each side of a pole which she rested on her shoulders. One pot was slightly cracked, while the other was perfect. Each day, the water bearer would take the long walk to the stream, fill up the two pots, and trudge back home. Each day, the cracked pot leaked out some of its water, so it arrived at the house only half full. This went on for months. Then one day, as the water bearer was filling up the pot, the cracked pot spoke. "I'm so sorry. I want to apologize to you." "What do you have to be sorry for?" the water bearer asked. The pot, feeling guilty and imperfect and broken, said, "I'm so ashamed. I can't deliver a full load of water. I leak all the way back to the house. And you mean you do so much work carrying me, but I only return with half my water. What good am I?" The water bearer replied, "Let me walk back along the path and tell me what you see along the way." So as they walked, the pot saw beautiful flowers, yellow daisies, orange morning glories, pink and purple asters. "Did you think I didn't know you had a crack?" asked the water bearer. "I planted seeds, and as I walked along the path, your water helped them grow. Each spring, I can pick beautiful flowers to put on my table. Yes, you do have a crack, but that crack has helped to create more beauty in this world and in my life. There is beauty in brokenness." Friends, we have all heard the expression, "beauty in the eye of the beholder." This frequently used expression literally means that the perception of beauty is a subjective and personal experience. But beauty is more than simply a matter of aesthetic and taste. You see, the cultural ideals of beauty are also an index and expression of social values and belief. And beauty means something different to everyone joining us here this morning. And what I might find beautiful, you may not. Now, some of y'all would agree that a waterfall is a wonderful scene. Can you imagine all of the water pouring off the side of the cliff, splashing into depths below? Now that is beautiful. And some of y'all would find sunsets where warm colors fill the sky, pleasing to watch, while others would be in awe of the beauty of stars dancing in the sky and a garden full of flowers. Yes, my friends, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But we are so indoctrinated with the Western standard of beauty, and we see it as perfection, flawless, pristine, wholeness. And there have been scientific studies that indicate that the human standard for beauty may also be genetic. Beauty is in our DNAs. But friends, despite all of the images of beauty that we are inundated with in our society today, We live in a broken world. We are broken people, and often it's hard to imagine the beauty in our brokenness. Somehow the act of damaging or fracturing create an ugliness that we want to get rid of. And it is safe to say that most people don't relish the thought of being broken. Now, friends, experiences that breaks us are not pleasant, but painful, hurtful, or frustrating. We often wish these situations would just go away. But can we really avoid being broken? Is this something only for a few people, while all the rest of us can live a life of ease, free of brokenness? Well, let me tell you something this morning. A true confession, if you will. You see, I'm broken, and I believe we all are broken, and we all are in some state of brokenness. We have all faced heartbreaks of all kinds, betrayals and losses, breakups and disappointment. We have been turned upside down by the devastating events in our lives and in this world in which we live. Our lives have been broken by a diagnosis of a chronic illness, by the death of a loved one who died later in life, or those who have died much too young. We have been broken by the loss of a job or dissolution of a relationship. And we know brokenness when we see it. We may not want to admit it to ourselves, but we all are broken in some shape or form. We are hurt by the words of others that cut so deeply in our soul and break our spirits. And we are broken by unfulfilled dreams, by bouts of loneliness, hopelessness, and depressions. And when we are broken, we are made to feel like we don't belong, or at times we are treated like the others, that we're not good enough, or our inherent worth and dignity is not valued. And we have been broken by something or someone. We all have been hurt by folks, but we too have injured others with our words or actions. And at times we may not realize it or want to acknowledge all the brokenness that each of us carry deep within our souls. And we do know there is some brokenness present in all of our lives this morning. But our society tells us that we are to seize the day, hold down the fort, take charge of our future. We are fed with the illusion of control and individuality. We are bombarded with images of entertainers and athletes who are strong, beautiful, and powerful. Our cultural narrative promotes constant self-improvements that tell us that we are to rise above our humble beginnings and eliminate our flaws. And at times, we are taught that brokenness is a sign of weakness, a character flaw, a crack in the armor that shields us from harm. But friends, we all are incomplete people. We all have flaws and imperfection. Our lives are messy and we mess up. But despite our flaws and imperfection, it is in our brokenness when we discover that we are loved in our brokenness, that we depend on each other, and we need each other to survive. You see, it is in our brokenness where we discover our inner strength. We find that our lives have a higher purpose, and we are an inspiration to others. It is in our brokenness we find new beauty. And friends, we are not diminished by our brokenness. As a matter of fact, it is our brokenness that connects us to others. So my question for you this morning, where is the beauty in brokenness? Well, as we know, life is always full of hardships and obstacles that can eventually bring us to a moment of brokenness. Now, I don't know about you, but there has been times in my life when I felt broken, low down to the ground, with feelings of fear and doubt in my mind. And when I see brokenness, no matter whose it is, I have this eerie, silent feeling deep inside myself, but I cannot look away. A part of me is devastated, horrified. The memory is etched in my mind, and I can't recall it in an instance, frame by frame, even as the years go by, producing a jolt of adrenaline that prickles my arm and hurts my heart. And it doesn't have to be my brokenness, but I can see it and feel it in others. I'm talking about the brokenness of the human condition. That place where we allow ourselves to be led down a road less traveled. Our life journey often takes us down a path of unannounced hurt, pain, fear, despair, and anger. We find ourselves in a place where devastation and loss are so profound that many times our minds were left to our own devices, and we'll see no other alternative than to blame ourselves or others. It is during those dark days where true brokenness surrenders to the pain, to the moment, and the circumstance. It is during those times when we must decide not to fight against the starkness of the dark reality. And it is during those times where we must accept what is happening, setting aside the blame and all the brokenness, and that our brokenness may be complete when we forgive all who are responsible for our brokenness. It is then the healing process will start. In Reverend Jacqueline Lewis' book, The Power of Stories, she tells us that God calls us to reveal our brokenness and to be in touch with it so that we can use it to minister to souls. Well, I believe that when our brokenness is revealed to us, when we are willing to confront it, then we are in touch with the deepest part of our soul. And it is then, and only then, we can see the beauty in brokenness. And even in the midst of brokenness, during times of sorrow, when we are experiencing profound grief, loss, and sadness, I want to tell you that we still can find beauty in brokenness, even during some of the darkest days of our lives. We can make it through the trauma. We can make it through the trials and tribulation. We can make a way out of no way, regardless of what life throws our way. We can still have hope. We can be grateful. And that is when we can discover the beauty in brokenness. Yes, my friends, we can find beauty in brokenness, but to recognize it, we may need to expand our understanding of beauty. Often, when we think about the physical and visual senses of what we find beautiful, but many other of our senses connect to beauty too. There's a sense of compassion and wonder, a sense of trust in the face of vulnerability, a sense of goodness. A moment of beauty gives us a glimpse into something better, something nearing perfection. Not perfection in the terms of human limitation of physical beauty, but a glimpse of what the beloved community was meant to be. A moment of beauty notion us to become a part of something bigger and more important than ourselves. So as I was preparing for this sermon this morning, I learned that the Japanese made an art of restoring broken things. The ancient practice called kintsugi means golden joinery or to patch with gold. It is an age-old custom where artists repair the cracked pottery with real gold, not only to fix the break, but significantly increase the value of the piece. At the core of it all, the artist turned what is broken into beautiful, cherished pieces by sealing the cracks and crevices with lines of fine gold. And instead of hiding the flaws, kintsugi artists highlight them, creating a whole new design and bringing unique beauty to the original piece. The pottery becomes more beautiful and more valuable in its restoration, because though it was once broken, it not only has history, but a new story. Yes, my friends, We all are like the broken pieces of pottery, flawed with cracks and crevices. But there is a new story in our brokenness. We can find the beauty in restoring our broken relationships. We can find beauty in forgiveness. We can find beauty in hope and in a spirit that refuses to give up even in life's most difficult times. We can find beauty in human compassion and generosity. And there is beauty in the inherent worth and dignity of all of us. Yes, my friends, there is indeed beauty in brokenness. And when we are willing to own our own brokenness, it is then we are able to discover the beauty in ourselves and each other. That is when the healing begins. May this be so.
I believe in the sun. I believe in the sun. Even when it's not shining. I believe in the sun. I believe in the sun, even when it's not shining. I believe
Our flower communion was created almost 100 years ago in Czechoslovakia by Unitarian minister Dr. Norbert Čapek. Dr. Norbert Čapek developed this ritual for his community so that they might celebrate the unique beauty of each individual and the need to tend the garden of community together. This ritual became so beloved that Dr. Chapek's wife, Maya Chapek, brought this ritual with her to share with us when she came to Cambridge, Massachusetts in 1940. That same year, in 1940, World War II began, and Maya Chapek became stranded here in the United States, while back home in Prague, Dr. Norbert Chapek's life was now at risk. The Nazis deemed Dr. Chapek's ministry dangerous because it celebrated the beauty of diversity and our Unitarian ideals that we still share today. Dr. Chapek was sent to the concentration camp of Dachau, where he would suffer and die. But his message of human hope, of beauty, and of dignity lives on in our Unitarian Universalist values today and in this ritual, this flower communion that we are about to share. If we were gathered together in person together today, we would each have brought our own flower, and then we would leave church with the flower of another person, symbolizing that unique beauty of each one of us and the need to tend our community. But we are separated physically this year, and so we're not doing that. We're doing it a little bit different. I just want to say now that our separation is in deep alignment with the flower communion because it signifies our care for one another, remaining distant until it's safer to be together again. So if you have a flower for our communion, I invite you to go and get it, bring it nearby. And if you don't have one, that's okay. You can do this entire ritual without a physical flower. You'll just imagine one in your mind's eye. So bringing your flower close, maybe holding it in your hands in front of you, I invite you, if it feels good, to first close your eyes. Center in. Take a deep breath. Maybe let it out with a sigh. And whether you are sitting or standing, take a moment to make yourself a little more comfortable, rooting down into the earth. Let your head reach towards the sky and grow a little taller. Take another breath and allow this moment to be one of holy communion. This is a moment of communion with your body, with that vessel in which you dwell, and with the body of earth on which we all live, and the body of a flower being that lives on earth with you. So if you have a flower in your mind, you can imagine that now, and if you have a physical flower, you can begin now to slowly crack open your eyes and begin to follow this flower with your curiosity. Notice the curl of her petal, the shape of his leaves, the firmness of their stalk. Notice the flower's smell. Perhaps touch a petal to your cheek, and breathing in, remember the shared breath that we humans have with all plant life. They exhale the oxygen that we need to live in a symbiotic, mutual relationship. The origin of our flower communion is a celebration of biodiversity. We honor the fire of life that lives in every petal, every flower unfurling. Your flower began as a seed, small and hard, firmly planted in the dark womb of the earth. A mixture of elements, sun and rain, water and fire and earth, came together in divine alchemy, and with relentless ferocity, that seed cracked open, sending a stalk up towards the sky, and tendrils rooting deeply down into the earth. May we be like these flowers, fiercely reaching up into the light, becoming the diverse beings of beauty that we are meant to become, while also reaching down into the dark, seeking nourishment from deep within. May we remember that hearts cracked open in love can become grand and beautiful blooming things. This flower in your hand or in your mind said yes to life, even when life was a struggle, and from cracked seed has become something of beauty. May we remember the holy tenacity of these flowers as we move about our lives. And may we admire one another's unique beauty and care for one another in healthy symbiosis as the flowers teach us to do.
Father Spirit, where are you? In the sky song, in the forest songs your cry. What to give you, what to call you, what am I? Many drops are in the ocean deep and wide. Sunlight bounces off the ripples to the sky. What to give you, what to call you, who am I?
Just before he was put to death in Dakar, Dr. Chapek wrote this prayer reflecting on his own life and the state of his spirit. It is worthwhile to live and fight courageously for sacred ideals. O blow ye evil winds into my body's fire. My soul you'll never unravel. Even though disappointed 1,000 times, or falling in the fight and everything would worthless seem, I have lived amidst eternity. Be grateful, my soul. My life was worth living. He who was pressed from all sides, but remained victorious in spirits is welcome into the choir of heroes. He who overcame the fetters, giving wing to the mind, is entering into the golden age of the victorious. And now, as we leave this place, do not be dismayed by the brokenness in the world. All things break, and all things can be mended, not with time, as they say, but with intention. So go, love intentionally, extravagantly, unconditionally. The broken world waits in the darkness for the light that is you. Go out into this broken world, find the beauty, and speak the word of life and hope. Go now in peace.